Hello, beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a great day. Now, I know that if you're in real life right now and you're watching live, the weather, you know what? This has never happened. I had us up on the phone too, on YouTube. So I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am again. That was interesting. All right. So, if you are here live, then you might be in a place where the weather is not giving us all that we feel like we need, but it's okay because I got plenty of sunshine for you today. We are bringing in a brand new guest with Give It to the People Live, where what we do is we focus on BIPOC and women owned businesses. So that's Black, Indigenous, and people of color. And we want to highlight their stories to really shine a light on some of the things that they're doing because we understand that some of those smaller businesses may not get as much shine as those big businesses. And so we always want to make sure that you know what's happening in the community. And so this week we have a special guest that is on, and it's Tracie. So I'm going to bring her on really quickly. And Tracie, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. So the thing about Tracie is I met Tracie, if I'm not mistaken, in December. And it was at Alamance Community College. We were doing our Jumpstart Summit. And she just had a really great energy. And one thing is that I pay attention to people like after you meet them, see what they're putting out, see if they, kind of match up with who they say they are. And I think to me, just looking at your social media over the last, like, let's say almost 6 months, you always are a person that is giving great vibes and great advice to people. And so I said, definitely wanted to make sure that we have you on. So can you give the people a little bit of background on your company, Living Our Visions Empowerment?
Okay. So, my company is a place that I created where I want your visions to live and not die.
Mm,
So, the concept of that is I was in a place where I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew this wasn't it. And so,
mm,
when I created the company, I definitely wanted to be a place that I can push your visions, push it, what it is that you're supposed to be doing in life out of you. Because
mhm,
what happens if you don't do your visions, they die. And I was tired of seeing people's visions just perish. That is not what we're supposed to do.
Yeah. And I totally agree with that. What do you think, like when we talk about just visioning, a lot of people have their own definition of that and what it means and how to kind of help people with their process. And so when you're talking about having your vision, is this for your life? Is this for a business? Is this for like a specific goal? What is your definition that can help people kind of really understand what you do?
Okay, it can be a vision for anything. So that can be life, business, it could be fitness, it could be
Mhm,
health. It's just a vision that you have for your overall self. So
mhm,
if you're a person that says, no, I'm not into business, but I just want to get healthier, then I'm going to
mhm,
say, I'm going to push you to be healthier. What are you eating? Do you
mhm,
work out? Do you walk?
mhm,
Those sorts of things. So it's just that overall vision that we have for ourselves and where we want to go and
mhm,
who you actually are, but you're just not pushing that person out. So let's
mhm,
say you are introvert, but you're actually an extrovert. You don't
mhm,
know that you're an extrovert because you've never been around somebody who pushes that out of you.
mhm.
That's your vision for yourself. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself?
Mhm. Yeah, no, I like that because I think that, when people say to me, and one of the things is purpose, like they feel like, what is their purpose? They don't know what it is. They're trying to figure it out. And I've seen this more so, and this is just my opinion, but with people who typically have more of that employee type of mindset, and they're not as entrepreneurial, and not entrepreneurial in the sense of you have to have a business, but just in the way that you approach things, right? So I think sometimes if you're used to some people just telling you what to do all the time, and maybe you don't make as many decisions, then I don't know if you feel like your purpose gets hidden, or you're just waiting for somebody else to come out and give you your purpose. But what do you feel the importance of purpose is?
I feel like your purpose is the biggest thing in your life, to be
Mhm,
honest. Because you can, like you said, you can work a job, but you're not happy, you're not fulfilled there. You're working. I can do a lot of different things. You could teach me anything, I could do it. You could
mhm,
probably teach me how to weld and build a car. And I'm gonna
uh-huh,
go out there and build that car for you. But
uh-huh,
I'm not gonna be happy doing it. It just means that's what I can do. But your
uh-huh,
purpose is what makes you happy at the end of the day and gives you that joy, that peace. It makes you want to get up in the morning. And a lot of times when you work, you're so busy with your mind mentally on that you can't think past going to work. Because by the time you get off, you're exhausted, you're tired, you want to go to bed.
mhm,
So once you start to realize this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm not happy. You can make $1 million on the other hand. So let's say you're not a 9 to 5er, you
Mm-hmm.
are a millionaire. You made a magazine and it's booming, it's everything. But you go home every day and you're like, I'm still sad. I don't know what this void is. I
Mm-hmm.
got all this money. I have everything you could possibly want, but I'm still unhappy. That's because you're not working in your purpose. You're just working. And our
Mm-hmm.
purpose is that thing that you're just like, I would do this with no money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a skill set you naturally have that you do every day. You could be the child that taught kids when you were little. You're like, I want to play teacher. I want to be a teacher. Da, 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 da,
Mm-hmm.
da, da, da. And then you end up actually teaching, and the other teachers are like, I hate teaching. I hate doing this. But you're like, why? I love teaching. I teach
Mm-hmm.
I teach virtually. Because it's your purpose. You're supposed
Mm-hmm.
to teach people. You're supposed to train people.
Yeah. And see, I think you hit the nail on the head with a person like me, because it's like after years of self-reflection, then I realized that there were things that, of course, that I always did, that I always was good at, that are naturally just, the things that I flourish at now. Right. And so, sometimes you don't even realize how a small detail turns into, okay, this is actually what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think a lot of times maybe people don't look back at what they wanted to do when they were kids. And maybe they should, right? Because if they did, then maybe they would see that there is a piece of that is still in them. But I see that a lot of people are procrastinators. And so, like last week, our episode was talking about the art of procrastination. And so for me, I really feel like, when we talk about procrastinating, you're worried about, what could have happened yesterday, as opposed to what should be happening now to kind of move you forward. So what do you feel is the reason that so many people get stagnated? Because maybe, they don't know their purpose, or, they think they're operating in it, but they haven't found it yet. What is that stagnation about that keeps them procrastinating?
One is your mindset. So do you even think you can have more? Do you
Mm,
feel like the grass is ever greener on the other side? That is definitely a thing I've been doing this year. I was like, the grass is greener. Because that's what they
mhm,
say, oh, the grass ain't greener. It actually is. But
mm,
your mind has to say that the grass is greener. If your mind says it's not, then guess what? You're not going to go forward because you don't believe that you can. You don't believe that there is better. So your
mhm,
mindset is the first thing that stops you. You could say, I'm going to create this project and never put it out because you start to think, is anybody gonna buy it? Is
mhm,
it enough? Was I creative enough? And then you start doubting your own self in your mind. So if you can't get past your mind, number one, you're not gonna get anywhere.
mhm,
Have to change your mindset. Another thing I will say is your self confidence.
mhm,
So if you don't have self confidence, that's part of it too. Because if you get a coach or anybody and they say go live,
mhm,
you're not confident, you're not going to go live.
mhm,
Same thing. I didn't go live at first. I used to just record my videos and
mhm,
post it over again on my phone.
mhm.
I would post it on the thing, but I never was live because
Okay.
I wasn't confident about going live. I was like, who's going to be on there? They're going to say something. What if I don't know what to say? And so you have to build up self confidence because that's a big stagnation too. Because if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to talk to people. You're not going to be able to vend. How are you going to have a table when you can't vend because you don't know how to talk because you're not confident in yourself or your products?
Mhm,
You have to have discipline. Discipline makes you stagnant because you can say, I'm going to post every day and you
mhm,
don't.
mhm.
Do this every day and you don't. I'm going to write 5 books. You ain't wrote a page yet because you
Yep.
don't have the discipline to do the things. And another is accountability. You need someone to be like, did you work out? What you eating? Did you?
Mhm,
What you do? You said you're gonna do that. Did you do it?
mhm,
If you're the only person accountable to you, a lot of times you're not gonna do anything.
mhm,
If no one is there to push you and say, hey, did you do it? Why would you do it? Especially
mhm,
if you have discipline. I don't
mhm.
have discipline, I'm not accountable. Why would I do it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I agree with all of that because like yesterday I watched Air Jordan, right?
Mhm.
And I said, I wanted to see the movie, and I just kind of wanted to see what the whole, making of the shoe was and the brand and everything with Nike. And in watching that, I think it was very interesting because I always like to see some of the things that I'm kind of taking in, and then how they relate to business or how they relate to life to give lessons. And the most important thing of this movie was Michael Jordan's mother to me, right? Believing in him, which then turned into him believing in himself, which turned into the competitive nature that he had, and kind of prophetically saying that he will win awards, he will be number one, he will. And so I think that, to me, it does in a way start from your upbringing too, because if you don't have that confidence built into whatever your like your primary years are, right, then how can a person say, well, listen, maybe I didn't have the upbringing where I was given confidence? Because I have seen that in a lot of people that I know, and it's like they are so amazing, but they see just a percentage of that, right? And a small percentage in comparison to what it could be. So if a person didn't grow up with confidence, right, and they're not sure of their purpose, how do you then kind of pull that out of them to give them, those little sprinkles of confidence to make them feel like they can do it?
Okay. So one thing I do is definitely the encouraging messages that I
Mhm.
give out, but I have like guided journals. And
Okay.
those journals create that confidence. So in it, I'm speaking to you the whole time. I'm like, you're great. You're amazing. You're a queen. What did
Mhm.
you do today? You woke up. You're fabulous. Like, and I'm constantly telling you stuff. So as you're writing, you're getting encouraged. You're like, man, I didn't even realize today. And you might have had a terrible day. And
Mhm.
you open that thing up and that page just speaks to you.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to start there because a lot of people aren't open. So when
Mm.
you're journaling, you're writing to yourself first. And you're taking that time out for you and loving on you by just, people don't understand that when you take time to journal, you're actually taking time for you.
Mm.
That's why people don't do it. They say, I don't have time. You have to make time for yourself.
Mhm.
And so you start to build yourself up by writing and learning and being encouraged. And then it's like, oh, wow, I didn't realize I had this. And then when you finish, you're like, oh, wow, I do feel great. I feel better. I
Mhm.
know I'm this. I know I'm that. Now I need to step into it. So
Mhm.
now I need to start surrounding myself with people that are going to encourage me. That's already probably in your life. They probably already been encouraging you. You just
Mhm.
kind of, oh, they just saying it because that's what you do when you don't have confidence. You always be like, oh, you just saying that. Oh, you
Uh,
look good today. No, I don't. I paid $5 for that. And it's like, no, but you look beautiful in it. But it's only $10. And then they start saying, no, you look beautiful in that, and you start to believe that you do.
mhm.
Thank you. I do feel better in this, but you have to believe it too. So
Yeah.
even if you start to see it, you have to truly believe that you are who you think you are.
But I think that was a great example. So basically, because I see people that do that, they kind of shrug off compliments, right? And I think, sometimes because maybe they don't see themselves in that light, that they might feel embarrassed by a compliment. And I'm the total exact opposite of that. I'm like, go ahead and give me a compliment, Henny. Yes, thank you, right? But I just feel, I don't know. I think it is something that's in people that if people compliment you, it should make you feel good, right? Because they are seeing something special, or even if it's an outfit, it could be a fragrance. I mean, it could be something so simple, and they're recognizing that about you. So once that person is saying, okay, with the guided journals, where can they find those journals? Are they something that's digital, or is it something that they can physically write in? How do your journals work?
My journals are physical. You can actually get them on my site at, it's a super easy name, The Love by TracieMcleod.com. But they
Mhm.
are physical because I am a physical writer. I love pen and paper. I love to and flip them
Mhm.
pages and look back. So I'm not digital like that, y'all. I'm old school because I
Uh-huh.
love the feel of a book.
Yes.
I love to pick it up and go back and be like, man, I did that. Woo, child, I done came a long way. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. And you know what? I think, like, so for me, I am exactly the same way. I love to write. I like to go back, and then it's things that I looked at that I'm like, oh my God, I wrote that. And then a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, you're going back and you're seeing that you manifested the things that you said that you wanted to manifest, right? And I've been noticing that even more lately. Like, I'm just I'm just very intentional about saying I want certain things.
Mhm.
And then I feel like those things just tend to happen. So, would you say, because this was not like a part of what you sent, but when people talk about what you do, because strategist is one of the words that you use, but would you consider yourself a life coach also? Because it's different areas that you're covering with, what you're doing with living our visions, empowerment. And, would you consider yourself that, or would you, have some type of other moniker that this way it makes it easy for people to kind of understand what you do?
Yes, I actually do life coach. I am a
Okay.
life coach. So I do work with people in all those areas too. So I do have people that come to me, and I do health and all those things, and
Okay.
fitness and all of that. I do actually make you write the vision boards out.
Okay.
Place those things up there and say, what do you see for yourself? And I
Mhm.
actually say, you know what? I want you to just pick things out that's not normal to you. If you see something that stands out on a page and you don't understand why, put it up there. And I've seen people get those things. Like
Mm.
I've seen them be like, I didn't even want a new car, but then I
Mhm.
ended up getting a car. And I'm like, because sometimes God will place something there that you didn't even realize because you want what you want. And
Mm.
sometimes what you want is not even what you're supposed to have.
Ooh, that's a word. Hold on. Stop it. Hold up. I don't even know where Tammy is. Tammy might be on vacation. But if Tammy, I'm gonna just give you the virtual tambourines right here. Because oh wow. I mean, like that's a profound statement right there. Like,
Mhm.
I don't think do you think that people typically do know what they want though? And maybe they're just scared to get it, um or they're in a situation where they don't think they can have it.
I think that most people don't think they can have it.
Mhm.
And a lot of times you've never seen it. So you don't even know it's possible. So
Mhm.
you may watch TV and see $1 million home, but
Mhm.
that's not your reality. You
Mhm.
don't live around $1 million home. So it's just TV to you. Then when
Mhm.
you actually step inside of it, you're like, oh, this isn't even like I thought it was going to be. I
Mhm.
can actually get this.
Mhm.
So a lot of times it's just that we don't even know we want it
Mhm.
because we've never been around it. If you just go to the same restaurant, you don't know that you want an upscale place because you never had one. Then you go and you're like, oh, it's not like I thought. I thought it was gonna be bougie people up in here and all
Mhm.
these things. And it's like, no, it's just a nicer place.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
that it's different, it's still food.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a difference to quality with certain things. And I think that, to me, once you get a certain level of quality, you just really can't go back, And so it puts you in a position, and, tell me if you feel this way too, where once you get this quality and you're like, I like this, this is
Mm-hmm.
me, this feels good, um, then I think that you will do what it takes to maintain it, because it's like, oh man, that other stuff, well, it was good while it was good, but this is quality. Like, I feel different, right? And so I always try to think about how you feel about stuff and how you make people feel. And to me, that's an important thing. But once a person is exposed to something, is basically what you're saying, then now they can make different choices, and then they might want something different, because I've seen people be exposed to things and they're like, well, that was cool, but nah, that's not really for me, but at least this way they got to experience it. So what would you say to people who are scared of trying new things, but they know that they need Tracie there because they need somebody to be that accountability partner? What do you say to those kind of people?
Just try it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying. What happens if you don't? What happens if you do? It could be the best thing you ever tried. It could be the worst. If you try food, um, let's say I tried what's some things called? Some kind of fries. They were gross. I can tell you they were gross. My friend loved them, but she was like, just try them. And I
Mhm.
tried them and I was like, you know what? Hot yuca. That's what they call yuca fries.
Oh yeah, yuca doesn't have that because it's like a potato, but
Yeah.
it's what it is. It just tastes starchy. So
Right.
I know I didn't like yuca fries either. Hmm.
Right. But I tried them and I was like, okay, girl, I won't ever eat them again. But I tried it to know that if I go somewhere else and someone presents me with yuca, that's not my cup of tea. So
Hmm.
when you try something and you're like, okay, well, I want to try to make a toy or something. And
Hmm.
then you do it and you're like, I tried it, but I realized I don't want it. Well, guess what? Now you can try something else.
Mm-hmm.
But if it does work out, you're like, wow, I tried it and it worked. Next step.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're doing. What we want to do is say, okay, so what's your vision? You've never tried it? Okay, let's try it then.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be disciplined about it. Let's spend time focusing on this one project to see if you like it. It's going to be hard work, but you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you finish it, you might say, wow, all I needed was this push, and I'm actually excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
You might do it and say, you know what, I waited my whole life to do that and realize I didn't want to do it. And that's fine too, because now you know what's next.
Mm-hmm.
Always the what's next. We never stop.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you do one thing, it's like, okay, she still got a podcast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What she's about to do? Because she's not going to tell you. You about to see it in like a week. She gonna post something different. Like, yeah, I'm out here on the TV show now. We like, okay, she's on the TV show. But we
Something.
don't know that that's what Shisa want to do till Shisa tries it out. And then she said,
Mm-hmm.
maybe TV is for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I like the concept of, just keep trying something because I mean, I am a lifelong learner and I feel like whenever you stop trying to learn something, you just really don't grow. I've seen things where like I even look at my grandfather who was the father that raised me, and things like, okay, he did not go to college, right? You know what I'm saying? He finished high school, but then he was able to retire. He was able to take care of the family. He had money, he had stocks, he had cars, he had houses. And it's like, it doesn't take you having to go through traditional education in order for you to still be successful. And so I think for me, when I kind of look at what you're talking about, it was probably that type of upbringing where it was like, okay, I want something different. I want to try this. I want to go here. And you would see a lot of people weren't necessarily doing the things that he was doing during that time. But I think that influenced my decision making and then made me always kind of want more. And I think, from what you're talking about is people should want more and they have to do something in order to get that more. And when we come to kind of looking at the fact that we should continuously be growing, right? We need to continuously want something else, right? And I don't know, do you think that there is an issue sometimes with expectation though? Because I think that maybe expectation can be a setup for some people, which is why they don't seek out the help of a life coach or a business coach, because they maybe expect things to come too quickly. So, what are your thoughts on expectation and then the duration of sticking with it?
Okay. Okay. Move a little bit. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, with expectation, yes. Because one thing, and I was thinking about this morning, is let's say a parent didn't finish something out and they
Uh-huh.
put that on their child. I
Mhm.
want you to be the sports star because I didn't get to do it. So you're growing up feeling like I'm supposed to play basketball because dad wants me to play basketball. It's not what I want to do, but I'm pushing hard. I'm doing all these things for this. I don't even like it. I'm just doing it because he expects it of me.
Mm.
So now you're not even looking at anybody else because I want to do what's expected of me. I don't know anything else. And then when you're brought around other people who are like, man, you're a great engineer.
Mhm.
You just do this blueprint in 5 minutes. Like,
Mhm.
man, why don't you do that? And you're like, I can't. Why? Because I'm supposed to do this. And a lot of times we stop at I'm supposed to do what they wanted. I don't even know what I want. And then somebody tells you what you're great at, but you still don't even believe it because I don't have time to do a blueprint. I'm still over here in expectation.
Oh.
And then see, and then when you have like a coach and you're like, I want, and I have high expectations. I want this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, so what have you done so far? I haven't done anything.
Mhm.
Okay, so you want that and you haven't done anything towards any goals. Have you made a goal? No. Okay, so that's the first step. We got to make some goals first. I'm not
Mhm.
saying you can't accomplish that or get it, but what I'm saying is you need strategy to get there. And
Mhm.
that starts with you working first and creating a goal and a path to get you there. But it doesn't mean, I mean, you have people that have expectations of a lot more than other people, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that that person just may have been exposed to more than that person. Or that
Mhm.
person has a different mindset because we grow up in different areas and different times. And an apartment might be okay for you. You never want a house. Why? I don't want to cut grass. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to do those things. It doesn't mean that that person isn't great because they want an apartment. It just means they're like, I don't want this. Where I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I want a house, I want a yard, I want all those things. But that comes with cutting the grass. That comes with taking care of your home. And
Mm-hmm.
you just put your stuff in it and you ready to go. It doesn't mean that our options are bad. It just means that your choice or expectation is different than
Oh, I love that. No, because I mean, I think you bring up some excellent points. And, I wasn't even thinking of expectation the way that you put it, as far as like somebody else putting their missed opportunity
mine. Hmm.
onto somebody else as far as expectation. But that is very true. I think we do want and I'm going to be honest, I have been that person because I've had friends, and this is why I try to mind my business now. Real talk, because you say you want this, but then your actions do not reflect the fact that you want this thing that you keep saying that you want. And you know that it's going to take work. And so I used to get so upset and so mad and so involved, and, try to put my expectations, because I could see it. Like, if you told me what you want to do, I could see it. But if you really couldn't see it, or if you were lying to yourself about seeing it,
Hmm.
and you didn't do the work, then I'm upset because I'm trying to help you. And I realized, a long time ago, I can't run anybody else's life but mine. And so I think when you have those types of clients that they see it, they say that they want it, and then they put their effort forward to make it happen, like, to me, that's the most rewarding part of it. So, I think minding my business has definitely been the absolute best thing that I could have possibly done for myself.
Yes.
But it's also because you want the best for people. Like, you want it, and and when you realize that some people just really don't want the best for themselves, it's like, okay, back to that stagnation. I mean, it's not too much that I can do to help you. Like, I can provide opportunities. And so, I'm the person that'll send an email now, or send a text message, or send something where what you said you want is a part of it. And then it's up to you to go forth and multiply, as I say, right? To try to take advantage of that opportunity. So if people are saying, well, listen, Tracie, I love what you said. I definitely need to be a part of your program. I recognize, listen, I feel like I'm at the church part where they say I'm in a backslidden condition. I'm in a backslidden condition. And I need to get my life together. Can you tell them how they can reach you? And then can you also leave us like a final word of motivation for those people that want to come out of that condition, and they do want to be they do want to be better?
You can definitely reach me on my website once again at www.thelovebytracymcleod.com, or the Love by Tracie McCloud on Facebook, and my IG is Tracie Renee 17. IG has a lot more videos and reels, y'all, because Facebook, I'm just getting there. Okay, so I go on Instagram. But I would say just start. Time is time, but don't waste it. Okay, because don't waste your time or anybody else's.
Mm,
If you want to do something, do it. It's not hard. It Just get started and you will see how easy it can be for you.
mhm,
Get around people that encourage you, that speak life into you. Do things that are going to bring you joy and happiness. Do not settle for anybody else's idea of who you should be.
mhm,
Know who you are, because if you don't, someone will tell you who you are, and that's who you will become.
mm,
So there are so many different things out here to do. Don't settle in a place that is not where you should be.
mm. Okay, well, you said it. Like, I mean, that was a lot just in that little. We could have did a whole thing just off of that last little part that she said. But I just want you to know I appreciate you for being on. I think that you, especially at this time of year, it is the time where people are in transition, right? Because once we get to this halfway mark in the middle of the year, people are saying, "Oh shoot, oh man, now it's time for me to do something." And I just always want people to have great people like you in their lives to be able to help them make that transition. And so, I am definitely here for people being the best version of themselves that they can possibly be. So thank you so much for being on. And I appreciate you, and everybody. You can watch on the replay. You can definitely, keep sharing, and you can continue to leave comments and share with everybody as well, because somebody needs to hear this message. And so I want to just encourage you, every time you see us go live, make sure that you always show up and show out and continue to give it to the people. Bye, guys.
Bye.